Hey guys, Gary J here, and today I'm going to be showing you a pair of binoculars that I recently bought. And I got them at a really good deal, I thought, and they're really good quality binoculars. It's April 2021, and this is prime time to look at wildlife and then look at flowers and the sunset and sunrises and so forth, the beauty of the different colors, and look at mountains and rivers and birds and animals of all sorts and types and flowers and anything you can imagine. So now is really a prime time to use your binoculars. Now I have about 5 pair of binoculars, and those are standard size, and these right here are compact size, like for hunting. I have a couple of these and about 3 of the other types. And anyway, I was looking through my binoculars, my older binoculars, and they have a little bit of a cloudy look to them. And they don't have the clarity they once had. And I've had them a long time. I've looked at buffalo and elk and moose and pronghorns and mule deer and mountains and valleys and rivers and lakes and you name it, flowers and trees and everything, just and birds. So I like a decent pair of binoculars. So I decided, well, I need to buy another pair of binoculars. And I happened to be at Academy Sport picking up some archery stuff that I wanted, trying to find it anyway. And I came across the binocular aisle, and I thought, well, I need a pair of binoculars. So I've got time to look at them. And they had a long shelf of about 25 or 30 pair of binoculars, all different types of binoculars. Different sizes, different powers, different objective lens, different shapes, mono binoculars, which is like one's round cylinder, one's kind of like a rifle scope. They're short. And they had infrared, and they had range finders and all that stuff. And the prices probably went from $60 to $400+ for these binoculars. And they had several different brands. They had even Leopold. And of course, they got the Nikon here, and they had Vortex. They have a lot of other different types of binoculars there. And so I thought, well, I've got plenty of time right here today. So I went through every single one of those binoculars. I played with the focus barrel here on them. I looked through the lenses on them, see how clear they were, and just messed with them and looked through all of them. And I was looking for the one that had the best clarity, and you got the high-end ones, $300-400, and they were really nice. And so I tried to also look at why the high-end was more expensive and why it was better than the middle price ones and the lower price ones. Anyway, when I came across the Nikon here, first of all, when I saw Nikon, usually that means money when you see Nikon. I know about Nikon. I have like a professional Nikon camera and lenses and stuff, and they are high dollar stuff when you get into Nikon optics. So I was a little bit skeptic about, well, how much are these going to be? And actually, this Nikon Aculon, and I got a brochure right here, I came with, and the Nikon Aculon A211, 7 power times 35. I would have liked that to be 8x42, but I didn't see an 8x42, but 7x35 is still really good. And for $80, well, I looked through the lenses of this right here, and it blew me away. The clarity on these lenses right here, it was like looking at clear champagne in a champagne glass. It was just crystal clear, unbelievably clear. And I looked at the high-end $300-400+ binoculars, and their clarity was not any better to me than this $80 pair of Nikon binoculars. And so I thought, well, man, that's amazing. And that's really the big thing about binoculars. You can pay $1,000 for a pair of binoculars, and if it doesn't have that clarity to them, I mean, to me, you're wasting your money because you need that super clarity. Mine were cloudy looking a little bit, and I could tell it on my personal binoculars, and I thought I might have cataracts or something, but I don't, because looking through these, that was crystal clear and sharp and just beautiful. I mean, amazing for 80 bucks. So I looked at these right here, and there are several things, and I bought this, of course, and there are several things I like about this. On these binoculars here, you got this rubber right here is easy to hold. It's a kind of like a non-slip rubber. It feels really good, and it's called rubber armor. It makes your binoculars here water resistant, not waterproof, but water resistant. Got dust caps for your objective lenses right here. Got dust cap here, and also has where you can unscrew this right here and put a L-shape binocular adapter. It just screws in here, just L shape, and the bottom of that L, you screw it into your tripod. So you can put it on your tripod. Now, some people say, well, why would you need a tripod? Well, if you get anything over 10 power, if you have 10 power or up, you're going to need a tripod generally. Now, I can look through 10 power and concentrate and not shake. But if you're looking at something at 10 power, you're going to be jiggling a little bit, okay? If you drink coffee or have a caffeine problem, you're going to be jiggling a little bit. If you get over 10 power, you're going to be jiggling a lot. If you're in really cold weather, and I've been in cold weather, I was shaking like that. And so 10 power and greater, you need a tripod, okay? Now, you can see right here, this is a L-shaped adapter. I've seen some of these go for like $50, $60 for a Nikon adapter, but I ordered one off eBay for like $12, I think, free shipping. And it looks just like it right here. So I don't know if I'll ever need it, but I bought it anyway because most binoculars work the same way. They have a little screw thing. Not all of them do, but some of them do. So you could use it. It's a universal one too, so you could use it with other stuff. So another thing I liked here was that when I compared these to the high-end model, trying to figure out what the difference is between high-end, middle, and low-end models right here. One of the things is the eyepiece right here. These have 3 clicks to it. This is all the way up right here. I don't know if you can hear that or not. And your diopters here to adjust, one of your eyes, because most people's eyes are not going to be the same. And these are just seemingly well-made binoculars here. And another thing about a better pair of binoculars is that the lenses, all the different lenses and prisms through these binoculars here are multi-coated. So it reduces reflection and so forth inside the binoculars as light comes in through your objective lens here, okay? So that's a great thing there. If you see a pair of binoculars that says fully coated, that usually means it only has one coat on it. So you want multi-coated lens. I will mention there is binoculars that have what's called ED. ED is refers to on binoculars a clarity that they have. Like if you're a bird watcher and you like looking at the feathers on birds to determine which ones are which and so forth, and you want to see that perfect color, with great acuity, you need the ED type binoculars. And they're going to pay more for the ED because the way the light travels through the objective lens down here at the bottom, up through here, through the prisms and stuff like that, it'll focus the true color of that bird or whatever you're looking at. If you want to see the original perfect colors the way they really are. There is some aberration in any pair of binoculars that are not ED, that you can see things perfectly clear, but it's not going to be 100% the color that say a bird has that you're looking at. It's not going to be 100%, where ED will be more or less 100%. Okay. So that's, again, you have to go into a higher price binocular to get the ED. That's more expensive. But again, multicolored here, adjustable clicks right here for your eyepiece that you can push down. They won't go anywhere. So that's an advantage right there to have that too. And the focus barrel turns like it's on ball bearings. It's so smooth, like the higher end too. And the multi-coated lenses in it. And incredible clarity in these right here too. Make this really, I would say that if I were just looking through a pair of binoculars and I looked through these right here without knowing what they were, and somebody asked me, well, what do you think that would cost? I'd say that's probably $300 or $400 or $500 pair of binoculars. To me, that's how clear they are. I looked at the $300 and $400 pair of binoculars, and they had good clarity in them, but they did not have any better clarity than this $80 pair when I looked through them. Okay, so that's, to me, that's saying a lot. Then there's some other things you can get into about looking at various things and comparing things on a very minute level that they would probably be better at. So for the price, I don't think you can beat it. I paid, well, these were $79. I ended up paying $62 when I got them, when I checked them out at the register. So what I want to say is that basically, if you're looking for a pair of binoculars, then maybe that time to get a pair of binoculars that the Aculon A211 7x35. Now, I will mention that in the world of binoculars, if you were told you can only choose one pair of binoculars, and of course you'd want to choose a good pair, what power range would you pick? If you could only have one choice of power ranges, what size binoculars or what power range would you have? This is 7x35, 7 power times 35 millimeter objective lens, and that's the objective lens. Here's that lens right here. It measures 35 millimeters across. So which one would you choose? Well, according to a lot of the binocular aficionados, those who specialize in binoculars, I think most of them will say that the number one binocular, if you could only choose one pair of binoculars to carry anywhere, would be 8x42, 8x42. These are 7x35, but it would be the 8x42. I did not see an 8x42 when I was there. So I thought, well, 7x35 is almost as good to me. Now, why would you choose a 8x42? Well, 8x42 or 7x35, but the advantage to that is that one, you can use it in any situation. Any situation. It's versatile from A to Z in the spectrum. Whereas if you get a monster, huge, tall pair of binoculars, there's a lot of things you will not be able to see with it. You'll be able to see things closer and you know, with those and have more light and stuff like that, but your field of view is going to be smaller of what you can actually see with the tall binoculars. And if you go over 7 or 8 power, you get into 10 power, you're going to have the shakes with them, okay? And that jiggling is not going to let you see your picture as well as it should without a tripod. And so with 35 to 45 on the objective lens here, this front lens, that diameter across here, you're letting more light in again. But that field of view is a very important thing. Now, on the 8x42, the field of view on that, which means how much you can see, if you go all the way to the west and all the way to the east, make a half circle, that's 180 degrees. Well, your field of view is kind of like a cone shape, how much you can actually see. Well, if you get the 8x42, It has about an 8.4 field of view, which is wide, which is nice. This one, 7x35, has even a wider field of view, 9.3 degrees. So it has a wider field of view. If you bought one of these giant, tall binoculars here, what we call like 20 power with a 100mm lens, huge lens on them, something you'd see like on a Navy boat almost. Those are good for astronomy and things like that, but their field of view is real narrow, like a 4 or something like that. But you can see really well with them and clear with them at a great distance. So that's the advantage of getting something like 35. Your field of view increases when you get around 42. That's kind of like the normal. And what would that mean in the field of view? If you saw like a bunch of geese flying, a flock of geese flying, maybe 50 or 75 of them, with a pair of binoculars like this at 35 or 42mm objective lens here, you could probably see all of them at one time maybe. But if you're using a 10 power, now when you go up in power like 10 power, your field of view narrows. When you decrease the size of this down to like 25, it narrows too. And anytime you increase the power, again, it narrows it down. If you got 20 power and a big 100mm objective lens here, it's going to be a narrow field of view. So this is why this is kind of all around great. You could see most of that flock of geese of 75 or so with this type of binocular with 35 or 42. And so that's one of the advantages there. And of course, you know, looking at mountains and oceans and animals and stuff like that, it's really, really nice. It's just so versatile to have this type. But again, 8x42 would probably be the number one choice, and especially with bird watchers and so forth. You don't have to worry about the shaky part. All right. Now, most people don't really, I don't think a lot of people really know how to adjust their binoculars. So if you know how to adjust your binoculars for you, so that you can actually see perfectly through a pair of binoculars, you can probably skip this part right here. So, but I hope what I've told you so far about the Aculon A211 7x35 or the 8x42, you might like really well. Now this system also is called the PORRO, P-O-R-R-O system, which means when you turn the focus barrel here, the eyepiece goes up, telescopes up. So when you turn this is going to go up and down. The roof system, well, with the PORRO, these can be made water resistant. With the roof system, when you turn the focus barrel on it, the prisms inside go up and down, and they're easier to make waterproof. You can get the roof type binoculars that are waterproof. They don't look quite like this. They don't dish out like this. They look more streamlined like this right here. They kind of taper though. You know, you've seen them before, like Vortex and stuff like that. They taper off, so they're not sticking out like this part right here. And those are really, really nice, but they cost you more money too. So that's called the roof, R-O-O-F system. Now, how do you adjust your binoculars for your eyes? Everybody's face is different. Some people have wide face, narrow face, in-between face. People's eyes are wide apart, narrow, or in between two, and their vision is different in the right eye and the left eye, and just a lot of variables. So how do you make these your own? Okay. The simplest way to do that is when you pick up a pair of binoculars, no matter whose they are, you're going to have to adjust them to your face. Since these are my binoculars, I adjust them to my face. Number one, pick up your pair of binoculars and open them up, because they see how wide they can get. Open them up until you think that both your eyes are looking through the center here, to the best of your ability. Okay, now close your right eye. This has a diopter here. See this right here, negative and positive here. close your right eye. Well, first turn this up right here. If you're not wearing glasses, these need to be all the way up. If you're wearing glasses, they need to be all the way down. Okay. Otherwise, it'll affect your field of view. Won't be as much as you could see. So take your binoculars, adjust them out so that you're looking through both of them with your eyes. They're the width of your eyes. Close, I'm just going to let this simulate this right here. Close your right eye and look through here, and it's going to be blurry. Now turn your focus knob until you want to look at the same object when you do this. And it may be 50 feet away or whatever. Whatever it is you're looking at, adjust it until you can see it with 100% acuity. Adjust this focus barrel until you see it perfectly, okay? So when you're content that you can see with your left eye that object perfectly with this side, then do not touch this. After you do that, do not touch this again. Now close your left eye and use your right eye to look through here. Do not touch this focus. Now that you've got your eye closed on this side and you're looking through here with your right eye, this is going to be blurry. How do you get rid of the blurriness? This is where the diopter comes in. You turn this right here. This will turn. And you turn it to the right or left until you can see 100% acuity on that same item that you were looking at or object. Okay, when you can see perfectly through here with your right eye, you know you can see perfectly 100% with your left eye. Now that you've got your diopter adjusted here, you can see perfectly through this side of your binoculars. Okay, so now your binoculars are in sync with your eyes. They're set up just for your eyes, just like you were getting a prescription eyeglasses or something like that. Okay, now that's set up. Now, I don't really hear people talk about this part of it. When you move this in and out, what's going to be perfect for your eyes? Well, when these are too close in, you're going to have two pictures. Let me see if I can get this. You're going to have two pictures when you're adjusting this part right here. And what you want to do, you move them in and out. If you move them too close in, you're going to have pictures overlapping, and you're going to have a dark spot in the middle a little bit. You move them out until that picture becomes one picture, one view. That's what you're looking at, one picture. You don't want it like this. Open it up until it gets perfectly just like that, till like you're not even looking through a pair of binoculars or anything, okay? You'll have one picture. When you get it that way, you're set. So what I do to save a lot of time is that I will take a magic marker, like a Sharpie, and like right here on my diopter, I draw a line right here, and I draw it all the way across to right here. So I've got a black magic marker line right all the way across here. That means if somebody used my binoculars, it's way off. So I know that when I pick up these binoculars, all I have to do is line up my line that I have made, and that my right eye is in perfect synchronization with that lens. Only takes 5 seconds to do that. So I can line this back up to my eyes. I don't have to go through this whole process again. Now on top, when you're opening your binoculars up and down to get that one picture, once you've got that, I use this right here as a siding line right here, and I take my magic marker and I mark it right here. And I mark this one over here with a magic marker, a straight line. That way, if somebody's used my binoculars or they've been, pulled in or something like that, I can just look at these lines right here, and I do it the same up here too. I can just open them up until there's a straight line between here and here. And once I've done that, the straight line here, then I know that I'm going to see that one round picture. And my diopter, I've turned that to the straight line, that my eyes are in sync. So in 15 seconds, you can have this back to normal, no matter who's used it or if it's, been pulled or, moved out of position for whatever reason. So then you can just throw up and see perfectly, okay? Saves you a lot of time doing that. So that's what I do. And it's just an easy way to do it. So anyway, I hope that this helps you a little bit. If you're looking for a pair of binoculars and you have an opportunity to go by any place that sells a lot of binoculars, and you can find these, always look through the binoculars yourself. I think some binoculars may be made on a Monday or something like that. They may not be as good as ones made on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. So for $80, and again, I got it for like $62 at Academy Sports. And there are other places out there you can find them. So I think they work really, really well for the money, and they're really economical. Oh, the other thing too is that they got a really nice bag here too that's real soft, and you can put them in the nice strap too, and the dust covers. Okay, guys, that's it. I hope that maybe this helps you a little bit if you're looking for a pair of binoculars, and maybe that helps if you're trying to learn how to adjust your binoculars so that you get the best out of your binoculars, the most out of your binoculars too. And then again, 25-year warranty on these. Can't beat that for the money. 25-year warranty. All right, thanks, guys. Have a great day. Gary J.